I've been a chiropractic patient since I was about 2 years old. Mom and I both got into a car accident. We went to what are now my in-laws' practice. Together, my wife and I were both chiropractors. New experiences aren't always a bad thing. We can understand that the nervous system affects just about every cell in the body. What would we classify a mental health condition? And we look at pain, and we look at some of the studies. Dr. Heidi Havoc and Dr. Joe Dispenza have both done massive studies on this. Pain is really processed in our brain as an emotion. And so when we talk about, okay, how does chiropractic affect mental health, I think it's important to understand how we started out.
Hey there, welcome to the Mental Perk Podcast. I'm Carla Hutcherson, licensed professional counselor.
And I'm Brandy Mock, entrepreneur, author, and community leader. And we're here to talk about real people, real issues, and real talk. Today's guest is all about helping people live pain-free and doing what they love. Meet Dr. Daniel DeLorimiere, a Texas native chiropractor, former athlete, and proud veteran of the Texas Army National Guard.
Woo woo!
He grew up in Flower Mound, where he and his wife, Kendall, first fell in love somewhere between youth group events and driving to church. Fun fact, she was the drill team star, and he played football at a rival high school. Classic love story from Texas. Former serving Texans during Hurricane Harvey and COVID relief to cheering on the Cowboys and Mavericks. Dr. Dan brings passion, purpose, and a heart for helping others. When he's not in the clinic, you'll find him on disc golf course, in the mountains, or hanging out with Kendall and their rescue pup, Cricket.
Oh, so cute.
We also have another rescue pup. That has. Thank you for reminding me to
Welcome you. Yeah, and that pup feels left out now. Thank
yes,
you very much.
Her name is Hopper.
Hopper.
So we got Cricket and Hopper sticking with the bug theme there.
Okay,
So.
and that's what that was, a bug theme.
Yes, Cricket came named. So she was named Cricket.
My rescue came named. I renamed him.
We had to rename Hopper.
Oh, okay.
She was originally Meredith, and that did not
That
fit.
that doesn't go. So what do they look like? Tell me what they look like.
Oh, man.
I love
You have to
dogs.
send us pictures.
Oh, I will. I'll pay the pup tax.
Okay.
Man, Cricket is kind of like Rottweiler coloring. We did do the DNA test, so I'll share what they are, but she is mostly Basset Hound and Australian Shepherd. So, but she is too smart for her own good. And Kendall, both times, Kendall had to talk me into it. She's like, hey, let's go check out this puppy. Well, if I meet a puppy,
You're going to get it.
You can't
That's me.
not.
I've struggled.
I'm a sucker.
I can't say no to her either. So
Kendall, come up with something good he won't say no to.
I can think of lots of things.
We'll fill you in.
So, and Hopper is a little bit of staff, a little bit of pit, a little bit of blue tick coonhound, but she actually looks like a boxer. We thought she was. She's got the big old underbite. But we have a really smart dog, and we got a really dumb dog.
I
love
situation.
it.
I know, because the smart dog plays all kinds of games with the one that's not smart. Like,
That's exactly right.
Exactly. I mean, they come up with some pretty funny stuff. Yeah.
I've never had a dumb dog, so I've had a dumb cat.
Have you
love
met
a great
Missy? Have you met Missy?
Oh, I have, yeah. So tell us a little bit about you. Tell us about how you grew up and what got you into being a chiropractor.
Yeah, so many things. So I've been a chiropractic patient since I was about 2 years old.
Oh, wow.
My mom and I both got into a car accident. Obviously, I don't remember any of that,
Right.
but we went to what are now my in-laws' practice. So I've known my in-laws since I was
goodness. So
pretty much born.
Oh, wow.
And so we grew up going to church together. My wife and I probably met in the nursery somewhere. We've got some pictures from like church camps and things like that of us together, having no clue. We started dating in 2013. I had to remember that one. 2013, she was 16, I was 17. Dated through college, we're both chiropractors, dated through chiropractic school, and then got married in chiropractic school. And so grew up in Flower Mound, a couple miles from her, so we always knew each other. But playing sports, I got a pretty big family. Both of my younger sisters are adopted from Russia. Just, I have an amazing family.
Wow.
Love me dearly.
It sounds like
And
it.
so it's really special, and I know that's not always the norm, and so I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah.
Support. I mean, that's a big thing.
So interesting you say this,
Yeah.
because I'm going back to thinking about, I mean, you're still a young pup, Dr. Dan.
I'm a spring chicken.
You're a spring chicken. And he's bringing up our wordage, our verbiage. But the interesting thing is, back in the day, which was not too far back in the day, but you didn't hear a lot, probably when you're young, you didn't hear a lot about little ones going to chiropractors. And now they come out and the first thing they're doing is taking to a chiropractor.
Well, it was interesting because speaking of your in-laws, I just remember like my son had constant ear infections, and we did all this stuff with the traditional doctor, but your mother-in-law said, bring him in, let me do something, and it helped. So,
Yes.
Isn't that interesting?
It's crazy, and all of the the back end of how that happens and why that helps with an ear infection, or there's a lot to it, but at the end of the day, you are a mom
yes,
who'd had a kid that probably screamed all the time and tugging on their ears and didn't know how to really always communicate that to you, that pain, that hurt to you, but took him to a place that he got to receive some love, care, and probably was fighting with the tubes and I imagine
all of those
then,
things,
so, all the fun things, but it's pretty crazy, how much we can do to help things.
Well, it's interesting because you say that, and when I think about a chiropractor, I think of more of a holistic approach to things. Mm-hmm. Instead of going in and having surgery right away or dealing back issues or something like that,
Absolutely.
I see it as being more holistic. But I will say, too, the one thing that I do love about, because I used to see a chiropractor, about 2017, 2018, I was having some really bad back issues. Mm-hmm. And kept going in, getting adjusted. And then he's like, well, let's do acupuncture. Mm-hmm. And so we started with that. But when he started, the one thing that I loved about this doctor is when he started going in and my pain was still not getting any better. Mm-hmm. That's when he said, okay, maybe this is something else we're dealing with. Let's send you to another doctor and make sure. And found out I had a tumor on my spine.
Wow.
And I had to have surgery.
Wow.
But had he not been so on top of it and knowing that, because some doctors will pridefully just go, let me just keep.
We're going to keep working.
We're going to keep working
it,
right?
Against the door,
but he was good enough to say he listened to me. He was like, and I'm like, it's getting worse. It hurts worse, especially after doing acupuncture.
Absolutely.
Because he was hitting right there at the tumor. We didn't know, right?
Right.
But that's what I loved about going to him, because he tried to take me to the more holistic point until he realized we need to have this approached a different direction.
The next step.
Yeah. But that's what I loved about him, because everything was, and it's kind of amazing how these doctors I can walk in and he's like, all right, we know you don't have to say a word. He knew exactly what to do every time.
Yeah.
How often do you have your patients continually come back to you? And what do you think when you're seeing these patients, how do you think you're helping them from a mental health standpoint?
Yes. So that's a fantastic question. I'll answer the first part. I have some that I probably couldn't get rid of if I tried, right? Because they feel their best. And I've asked them before, I said, what keeps you coming back? And 9 times out of 10, it's some version of, I feel safe here. I feel loved here. I feel, I just feel better. I know when I've got a little body tweak going on and, or a little ache and pain or a little dysfunction, which we will get to in a second. And I just know that I'm going to get taken care of. But I think it's interesting that the first few things that are always mentioned when I ask that, I feel loved, I feel cared for, I feel safe.
Yeah, I was going to say that trust they build with you has to be, for them to keep coming back, you really have to have that relationship with your patient.
Yeah.
You have to.
And listen, if you go for the first time, you hear a couple cracks and pops, it can be jarring for someone.
It's scary.
It's scary. I'm like, did I just break my neck?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a scary thing. It's a new experience. This is a new experience for me. There's a little bit of nervousness involved, but new experiences aren't always a bad thing, right?
Yes,
I agree with that.
Sometimes they're a really good thing. And so when we talk about, okay, how does chiropractic affect mental health? I I think it's important to understand how we started out. So before we were, maybe even a full thought in our parents' minds, right? When they come together and we now have a singular cell growing inside the mother, that cell is a brain cell. That cell then goes on to form the neural tube, which is, the precursor to our central nervous system. That then goes on to form a limb, an arm, a leg. How do we, at the single cell, know how that comes to be? Well, we all have an innate energy or power for organization, or the word I like to use is healing, because we heal from the second we're created to the second, we move on. So when we take that kind of a foundational principle into ourselves, we can understand that the nervous system affects just about every cell in the body. What would we classify a mental health condition or thing? I mean, everybody's got something going on in our brain, whether we're aware or not.
Right.
Well, it lives in our brain.
Right.
So I'm going to try to make sure I give sources where sources are due, because I do take a lot. I'm still learning a ton, right? I'm a spring chicken.
You are a spring chicken.
So
Just a baby.
What kind of chickens are we, Brandy? I don't know. What would we call
summer
us?
chickens. I don't know.
It's not summer.
Oh, that's
It's
too hot.
It's an old, decrepit, dying chicken.
No.
It's about to be chopped up, souped.
When we look at that and we our thoughts. So there's really, when we're born, for the most part, right? I know that there's other things out there that cause us to be born with certain conditions or maybe a little less function than we normally would. But for the most part, the average person is born, and that is roughly the healthiest they're going to be their whole life. And so through the years, dysfunction occurs.
Of course.
Absolutely. Maybe we trip and fall too many times
Right.
as a kid, or we fall off our bike, or we're playing sports and we get an injury or a car accident, or maybe we had an experience that was emotional that said, I have to react this way, and my fight or flight system is going, so that anytime I get hit with a less and less stimulus, now I'm going to be stuck in fight, flight, or hide. Fight, flight, or hide. And so how can that affect the physical body?
Oh, and
There's
it does.
so much that does. Your
my
emotions
gosh.
do affect your physical
Oh,
body.
my gosh. All the tension and just stress you put on your body.
It's crazy, and that's
There's a whole diagnosis called functional neurological disease. And so that itself is about how the brain and the body are working against each other.
And when they're not in coherence
Yeah.
or, chiropractic alignment,
Yep.
then we get a whole host of symptoms. And that's really what pain is. Most people come to me when the pain gets bad enough that it keeps them from doing something in their normal routine,
Right.
not so much even something that they love sometimes.
It's not. So you're saying a lot of people come to you they're not coming to you for preventative. They're coming to you after something's
it's already
happened.
And so if we have this history of, call it 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years of growing dysfunction.
He's going to have to do some serious work on me.
I agree with that.
Growing dysfunction, right? Where do we go from here?
Yeah.
So there's no process that exists in our universe that does not take time.
Yeah.
I love the whole idea of this, because you could think about the addictions to opioids and all the things that we do,
Absolutely.
and how you can be such a player in helping people not get addicted to those pain medications.
Absolutely. That's a big factor. And alcohol does amazing things for spine-related pain. It completely numbs it out. And so we wonder why maybe we've had a history of large portions of of back pain or neck pain or headaches or something, we start to get, that's the one moment that I can be released from that chain.
Exactly.
And we look at pain, and we look at some of the studies. Dr. Heidi Havoc and Dr. Joe Dispenza have both done massive studies on this. Pain is really processed in our brain as an emotion. And so when we think about that pain, or we have an emotional experience, maybe when we're a kid,
right?
And then it comes and we feel it, maybe it's in our chest, or for me, when I have anxiety, it's right below the heart, right above the gut, right? We can name these places in our bodies where we feel things. A lot of women deal with hip issues during stress.
Oh my gosh.
And
giving birth.
Yeah. It's
my sacroiliac was so out. I thought, oh my gosh.
And we're screaming and clawing to just
a chiropractor to get me
anything
back. Yeah. I'm like, that was my number one go-to.
To function.
Yeah.
So the relationship we have with pain, I think when we think about it is, I hurt here, so that there's the problem. Well, I can maybe help that problem. Absolutely. We can, but if my only focus is treating the pain,
right,
we're not even addressing anything.
Yeah.
Or the underlying, all the underlying
and then how
causes.
It's all connected, because like you said, so when you have a patient come in and they're complaining of an ailment or something hurting, how deep do you go with them to try to figure out, is this more than just a centralized area, or is this more here? Are you pretty quick to be able to say?
I'm pretty quick to notice those things.
Yeah.
And what's your plan when that happens? Like, how do you address that?
This is the most beautiful thing in the world. I need to recognize, and this is kind of how I feel about healthcare in general.
Okay.
We have to do a better job. And as a population and I am a believer.
We are too.
I know you guys are.
Yeah,
so
we are.
In how I think about the world. So if I love this kind of mirroring of how our bodies work, but also how our relationship is with the Lord.
Yeah.
From above, down into me, from within, and out. From the brain, down into the body, goes out into the body, and then out. We have these external things. Now, that's not to say that our environment controls that, and that's also not to say that we can't communicate back.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So, remind me the original question. I got off on a little tangent there.
Just how they all connect.
Yes.
Like it all connects. And
kind of what is the plan of action when you see someone come in and you're like, okay, I don't know if this is a pain issue or is this more of a emotional issue?
So the truth is, it's probably both.
Yeah.
Right? And it's chicken or the egg, what came first? And usually that's fully identified within the first few visits where I can see, are they a quick responder? If they are, most of the time that was typically an injury, or they're ready to receive.
Yeah.
But sometimes we have these chronic things come up and it's like, man, this hip, this low back, this neck, and we're holding on to that feeling because pain can be an addiction.
Yes.
In and of itself.
Yeah.
We identify with it, and when all of a sudden our identity is with the pain.
Yes, that happens a lot.
And I'm pretty quick to pick up on that. Now, so this kind of identification process, the wonderful thing about some of the techniques that my wife and we use is we actually address both at the same time. So there is a therapy, it's called zone therapy, and it's really, the simple thing is, right, our spine has different nerve cells, different nuclei in them. They go out to the body, they go back up to the brain. And so we can communicate with both at the same time. So, for example, if anybody has ever had a digestive issue going on, I would be willing to bet right between your shoulder blades.
Oh my God, he's going to do an adjustment.
You start to get some
whip out the
tension,
table.
some tightness, and maybe we get a little stressor because we're late to pick up the kids at school, we're stuck in traffic, or doing all these things, and that cortisol shoots up.
You don't even think about it, yes.
And now we got to go back to our primitive wiring, and we're stuck.
Yeah.
So we can't rest and digest.
Okay.
We're stuck in fight or flight.
And that's the blade area, you think? That
right in between the
You know how long it's been since I've been to a chiropractor?
Well, it looks like you need to make an appointment.
I need to go, Dr. Dan. So Dr.
Come on in.
I'm going to.
But I think there's a simplicity to this. My job ultimately is if there is a deep mental wiring, I'm a massive proponent for let's go talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Yes, I
100%.
love that.
Let's go talk. Let's be team on this. We're going to address the physical, and we can address some of the mental, the actual wiring where we fire it up in the prefrontal cortex when an adjustment occurs.
Right. Today's episode is sponsored by Hudson Financial Group. At Hudson Financial Group, their goal is to make sure your life is fully covered. Do you truly understand your current insurance coverages? Are you protected for the things you need and not paying for the things you don't? Come by and let them help maximize and understand your coverage. With access to multiple carriers, they'll find the best protection at your best price for you. Whether it's home, auto, farm, and ranch commercial coverages, bonds, life insurance, or financial planning, Hudson Financial Group is your one-stop shop for insurance and retirement needs. Stop by today.
We got to support that. That's stewardship.
Yeah.
That's a big thing talked about in the Christian and life world.
Yeah.
Right. So anyways, I do have a experience. I've had a back surgery. I understand what the emotion plays a role in that.
It messes with you, doesn't it?
It throws it out.
Yeah.
And so little history into that. I've had a low back surgery. It was a spinal cord issue that happened when I was in the Army. Nothing crazy, no big accident, lifting something heavy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where disc goes out, compresses onto the thecal sac, which is the casing of the spinal cord, and all of a sudden getting some weird things going down the legs. All of a sudden I can't pick up my leg. All of a sudden, whoa, my left calf is half the size. I'm starting to get some atrophy. Okay, well then it's time to do, that's way past the time to do something.
Yeah, right.
Now, I'm going to stop you because I don't want to stop you, but I do. Were you a doctor at this time?
I was not.
Okay. So did you know you wanted to do chiropractor? But you've been around it because you've been around. So you so that's the interesting thing, because a lot of people don't realize that there's that option. So were you already trying to do preventative?
I was.
Okay.
I was actually in chiropractic school at this time.
Okay.
So, I think of being a young 20-something-year-old, nobody knows themselves really, fully. We know what we know from our childhood, and, we're still figuring it out. And so faith comes a big part, and faith in myself, faith in God, but faith in all of these practices, faith in chiropractic. I mean, I had experienced amazing things already from it.
Of course.
So I went through, and in school, it's a little different than if I had gone to some private practice and, to a little more seasoned. So kind of up there at the student clinic, and you're like, okay, I've got this thing going on. I want to, help it. I mean, I did just about every modality under the sun. I did all the chiropractic, all the preventative stuff. I ended up doing the surgery.
Okay.
When I woke up from the surgery, my left leg was completely paralyzed. And it was that way for about 6 weeks.
Oh my
goodness. That's so scary.
So what had happened was, apparently the surgery just took a little bit longer, And if we look at outcomes for surgery, they're not that great. I mean, a successful surgery is dropping the pain scale by 2 points, and that's what's deemed a success. Now, we got to add the function back in. Well, I was left way worse than I was, right? So ended up doing, trying to go all of that route. I was just scared at the time.
Of course.
Kendall and I, during the time of that 6 weeks, I think 3 weeks into it, we celebrated our 1-year anniversary.
Oh, wow.
So we had,
babies.
How humbling is it to need help to use the restroom, to bathe myself, and her to step up and love me in that capacity. That's a big deal. I didn't always know how to receive that love, right?
So mentally, I'm thinking of you mentally right now. Were you struggling?
Big time.
Okay.
Big time. So I've experienced, that's kind of about the time I started to have some panic attacks.
Okay.
So we start to take the mental side and the physical side. And then now, anytime I get stressed or that cortisol, my low back lets me know.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
So when nerve cells fire together, anxiety, in a depressed state, panic attacks, low back pain shooting down the leg. And when those nerve cells start to fire together, they wire together. I take healing. I'm healing every single day from that, but I'm not, I've got 5 disc herniations in my low back. My most recent flare-up was back in January. So, but I look at what I was doing around. I didn't take a day off of work. We had some staff turnover at the office. I can make all of these reasons.
You're listening to your body now.
And all of a sudden, my body made me calm down.
But I think that's so huge for people to hear that.
I really do.
Take the time to heal and listen to your body.
Yeah.
And I don't think people listen until it's too late, right? If they'll listen earlier, you'll catch stuff a lot earlier.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And when we're don't have that brain to heart to body coherence, that alignment there, we may not think anything of, oh, my body's just letting me know there's a warning signal going on. I need to take a moment and be still, or I need to take care of myself so that I can then
it's okay to be selfish.
Experience the weight of responsibility.
Yeah. I just think it's so important for anybody, any doctor, whether it's chiropractic or medical doctor or however that goes. I think it's so important for them to work hand in hand and collaborate with mental health professionals, because I think so much of the healing can be connected.
And that's what I love about what you said is, when you see someone that's emotionally struggling as a doctor, you know that you may not be able to take care of that person.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're making sure. And that's where I wish a lot of more doctors would work together with each other.
Absolutely.
Instead of, filing a claim and getting that patient paid for, let's figure out the root of this.
Let's bring some care back into healthcare. And I know that's I love cliches. I mean,
no, but I love that too. It's true.
It's true. What happened to sitting down? Let's say you're a patient, eye to eye, heart to heart, soul to soul,
and really understand you're having a very human experience.
Yeah.
And the most important thing, I could dive into all the science. Nobody really cares about that. I mean, there's some that like to nerd out, but people just want to feel loved, seen, valued, heard, all of these things. And when we can take that into a chiropractor's office or your PCP and have those layers, but also we've got a mental health expert that I can refer you to.
I love that.
Help you out.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've got to play the team card.
And people want to be validated, and they want empathy, right? Because they've probably told this story so many times, and they don't get that level of empathy. No. And when they finally receive it, healing can actually take place.
Well, and you see a lot of doctors acclimate because it helps them process more, right? It helps them not get so emotional, so they become very numb to it's the same patient over and over again. And so they really have to remind themselves, this is a different patient with a different situation. Yeah, they're all similar. We all know that, right? But they're very different. But when you take the time as a doctor to be able to address that patient directly, I think that's what makes people come back. That's what makes people want to work with doctors. But a lot of doctors don't do that. So I love that you're doing that with your patients.
No.
So important.
And it's one of those things where I think we get caught up with, there's sometimes I have a patient that really, honestly, it's a pretty quick interaction.
Yeah.
They felt like it was 30 minutes. How long does 2 minutes of eye contact feel?
Like forever?
Forever,
Like it
right?
feels forever right now, so stop staring.
I know. Well, it's great because you have really pretty eyes. So, but so there's experiences that we have that we can slow down.
Yeah.
Stillness is really just the physical act of being patient.
I think people are scared to be still, though, Dr. Dan.
I say that all the time, and we conflate that with boredom, but it's okay to be bored. It's okay. It's a beautiful thing, I'm just like every time people say, "Oh, I can't be bored," it makes me. I'm like, "Oh, embrace it." Oh my gosh, the fact that you can actually be still is just amazing.
Still,
yeah.
We, and there's a lot of different techniques to try to, but sometimes just sit.
Yeah,
just sit.
Sit and observe, be mindful,
And it takes practice, too. I think when we do it our first time, of course it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
new things are uncomfortable.
Yeah.
If somebody comes into, they've had broken their arm, they get a cast 6 to 8 weeks later. When you get that cast off and you got to start moving it again to regain function,
Yeah.
that's
Scary.
painful.
It's
That's
scary.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That doesn't. So pain is sometimes a massive portion of the process, and sometimes it takes the whole treatment plan of maybe 1 to 3 months to actually have a change in the pain.
Yes.
But did we change our function so that we change our physiology, therefore change our reality? Because we all know the good days when we show up,
Yeah.
and I'm on.
Yeah.
I feel congruent with myself.
Yeah.
I feel ready to receive
Yeah.
and give.
Yeah.
There's a reciprocal, and when we think about doctors in an office that, and maybe they're beaten down by the system, they are human too.
They are. And I feel, and
it's tough.
it is tough. I mean, we talk about this all the time. Our doctors don't get enough mental health training. They don't know how.
No.
They're taught how to do their job, but they're not taught what the job could do to them.
They're not taught how to connect with the patients in a way that really
Very robotic.
can be effective,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
In the healing process. Yeah.
Well, if we can help somebody feel better that day, do you think they're going to be more receptive to whatever treatment? Doesn't matter,
Yeah.
right? If we can meet somebody and make them feel heard, they're probably going to receive it better.
Yeah.
I know, and you go back to that addicted to pain, you think, why would I want to be addicted to pain? Well, imagine what people get out of that. Number one, they get some form of identity out of it.
Absolutely.
And number two, they're getting a lot of their emotional needs met because people are
Catering to them.
catering to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
They feel seen and heard when that pain. And so then we have that little bit of a dopamine hit, if you will.
Yeah.
Right? The base brain is like, oh, I want more of that.
We don't
I
want
want
to
more.
exactly that dopamine, but we don't want to deny that the pain is real because
Right.
it
The pain is real.
Yeah.
The pain is real. And
Yeah.
and most things come from either a trauma, a thought, or a toxin. So eat well, move well, think well. And if we do those things, and they're all interconnected, then we're going to start to heal and be in the healing state, the creative state, the joyful state. I mean, we talk about the fruits of the Spirit. It's produced the same way. I think a lot of this is, I don't produce it. The Holy Spirit produces it.
Yeah.
From within. Now it overflows.
Yes.
Now I get to share that and be more present. And all of a sudden I don't go, oh my gosh, it's almost, we're halfway through July. This whole year's flown by.
Yeah.
Instead, we get to be present with the loved ones.
Yeah.
We get to actually feel the things and enjoy our lives.
It's interesting you say that because when you're dealing with patients that don't have that connection from a higher purpose, a spiritual purpose with God, how do you walk them through that?
I love this.
And the reason why I say that is because I know that feeling before God is in your life. It's hard. There's no hope.
Yeah.
The hope is not there. It's just fight or flight, right? And
you're also constantly trying to explain things in a way that some things just can't be explained, you know? And so when somebody doesn't have that belief, they're constantly left with trying to explain it, you know?
Yeah. So tell me about that, because I mean, to me it's a game changer in my life. You know, God is everything, you know? And so how do you explain it to your patients that are not maybe on that level?
So this is what I love. And, you know, it's taken some time to get there in our office, Salt and Light Chiropractic.
I love that.
In case you're curious.
Yeah, we'll put all that information on there. You got to go see Dr. Dan.
But I mean, we have the autonomy to create our environment and how we want to serve. I'm not talking, hey, have you heard about Jesus?
Yeah, no.
He can fix your pain,
You're
right?
living it. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's the same principle foundation across this idea of care versus treatment. When I care, I meet somebody eye to eye, heart to heart, soul to soul. And they come in and they start to feel better. They start to be more receiving of everything. Maybe they sent their grandma in, or so there's already more connections being made. And when we start to be connected, people start to notice things. We become more aware. But when we're living on a primitive wiring system of fight or flight, how can we be aware of anything other than what's right in front of us? I got to get through this day, or else the world's going to end.
That's exactly what it is right there too.
But as we reduce that stress on the nervous system and we start to create more space, people notice things.
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't see that verse on the wall. What does that mean? Well, I don't believe in the Lord. Maybe I'm a different faith, or maybe I'm an atheist.
Yeah.
But what has happened, and this has happened, so we've been open about 2.5 years, and this has happened, I want to say 5 times, where somebody who is a non-believer of Jesus, whether it's another faith or atheism, has come in, and we're usually right towards the end of the treatment plan. They said, I found Jesus this weekend. And it's not us. It's they're ready to receive.
Right. But the seed has been planted on the walls.
And we plant those seeds and
through your grace.
Right. Hey, the power that made the body is the same one that's healing the body.
Yeah.
The power that you feel, the safety net that you feel in here allows you to receive more. So we have a stack of Bibles, and I always give one out in one situation like that. But,
I love that.
I do love that.
Man, you don't hear a lot of doctors doing that, do you?
Because we focus so much on but we focus so much on the science, which is important.
It's so important.
But also I look at it as God gave you the tools to do your job.
Absolutely.
And you're doing it.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm not ready to receive, and we meet a provider that's not, we're missing the mark on what people just need. Yeah. And so...
And I think sometimes, their Christianity is more about how we connect with people more than we need to spout off Bible verses or explain that we're Christians. We shouldn't have to explain it. It should be in the relationship.
I just want to.
It's in the connection.
Be with you.
I just want to be. Just be.
And we can induce that through stillness.
Yeah.
Like we just talked about. We can do that, some physical body work, right? Yeah. Whether it's a pain situation, coming low back, and I can't play with my kids.
Yeah.
But when you start to get to play with your kids, you start to be more open, and you start to see the wonderful things that they're doing, and then receive. And maybe you hear a conversation at the coffee shop or something. So a lot of these things are, let's focus down on the small one thing. I'm just here to love you, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And if I love you, I'm going to make sure you get the best care. We're going to make sure we get over the physical issue. Often is a mental and I know we haven't really talked about the toxin side of things or the eat well, what we consume, but they all play one little portion of this thing. It's never 100% one thing unless maybe I got in a car accident and I lost my arm, but then we're dealing with stress.
Well, we were just talking about eating earlier, and I'm a walking toxin.
She she eats like a 2-year-old. Like all the foods a 2-year-old would eat. Yeah.
Okay. I feel better.
Right. Moderation's key. I love sugar though. Who doesn't? It hits that special part.
I love ketchup. And there's sugar, a lot of sugar.
Who doesn't?
I know.
She puts ketchup on everything. Like things that's inappropriate to put it on. Yeah. I'm just saying.
I mean, if that's the worst I'm doing pretty good,
you're
right?
doing pretty good. Depends on how. We could have some talks about
steak,
called out, but I don't know.
Constantly. I don't do steak. I'm not a meat eater.
Okay.
So, I tell people ketchup's my ranch. Your ranch is my ketchup.
I was thinking of ranch with that.
Yeah.
But and
you're from
ranch
here.
Yeah, but I don't get the whole ranch thing.
I'm not obsessed with ranch either.
I don't, no.
There's so many other things.
My gag reflexes are coming out. I want to talk to you about this, though. You talked about how you served during Hurricane Harvey and COVID relief.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What did those experiences teach you about resilience and mental health?
Man, so I'm going to start with Hurricane Harvey because that was one that was, all those experiences were new, but that was for me the first time I'd ever gotten activated in the Guard. I remember watching the news and thinking, oh man. So I'll run you through just a snippet of how I got there and then what I observed.
Okay.
I remember being at the gym at school. I was in undergrad at the time at UT San Antonio, and I was working out, and my phone rings, and I always try to put on Do Not Disturb at the gym, but then it kept ringing.
Yeah.
So I got a call, and they're like, hey, you got to be up here tonight. Well, our armory is in San Angelo, so that was like a 4-hour drive. So I was like, well, I got about 2 hours to pack up and go.
Yeah.
So we're running. We go, and we ended up, getting to Houston, and we were all over Houston at the time. But the biggest thing is that, I keep coming back to this. People just needed to be loved.
Yeah.
That was the strongest need.
Yeah.
People needed to feel love so that they could feel safe.
And heard. I think just heard. Yeah.
And so I will say through that experience and COVID relief, which for the role that I played was actually mostly, it was during the COVID time. I did a little bit of COVID stuff, but it was mostly at the state capitol. That was back when George Floyd and the election in it was just the pandemic's going on. There's a lot of compression. There wasn't a lot of space to be.
A lot of emotion around those times. And that's where things really went chaotic. It's because the level of emotions people were feeling they'd never felt before.
Well, they were angry. A lot of stuff was, a lot of what we felt like were our rights were kind of being taken away. There was no choice.
No
choice. And for me, from a person that I'm all into doing studies and making sure research has been done and all this stuff. And so I felt like there was a part of, and I was an employer. So, I had my team looking at me stressed out, and I'm like, I'm not going to make you do anything you don't want to do. This is your body, your choice. Like, I really felt strong on that. Mm-hmm. And I don't care if you wear a mask.
Yeah.
I was very strong on that too, because I do believe that our immune system builds up resistance and tolerance to things. Now, we didn't know what we were dealing with, right?
No.
But at the same time, because of that, I felt like things were getting shammed on you, crammed down your throat. So you're at Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
What are you doing there?
Man, I wish I could say that we were down there doing something really, really just profound. We were there to just be present. Yeah. I think is the big thing, and I think there is some safety in that, just being down there.
Oh, for sure.
And what people felt, but it was a high tense situation, and where I feel like I saw most of the mental health side of things come out was actually in my fellow soldiers.
Yeah.
Wow.
My fellow, my teammates, everybody there was just, there's two sides of the spectrum, but we also got to work together.
Yeah.
Right. And there's every moment within that spectrum.
So many different emotions. And I go back to emotions for many people are uncomfortable. And when you're dealing with heightened emotions, it's very, it can be chaotic. You don't know what to expect, and they're going to come out in ways that people don't really realize that it's going to come out, right?
Right.
And so that's where a lot of the violence and the destruction came from, because people didn't know how to deal with these emotions.
You don't know how to, if all your emotional intelligence is, from when I was a kid, I had an experience that made me react, and maybe the first negative time in my, truly one that imprinted upon me. And then I go through my whole life and I get confirmation of that. And then we have the nerves that fire together, they wire together, and the cortisol goes up and the stress goes up. How am I going to act when it's fight or flight? Mm-hmm. When it is primitive wiring saying the world will end, my world will end if I do not respond with, well, I'm going to call this person a jerk, or not so nice language, or I'm going to get into a fight, or I'm going to start destroying things rather than creating them, because we can't be in a creative state when that happens.
And you see that even now. You still see coming out of the pandemic, we're out of the pandemic, but people learn to react aggressively, and they're still trying to learn how to reel that back in. Mm-hmm. So you still see more road rage. You still see people being rude to someone at the grocery store or here or there. And you see it all over social media. People are recording people hurting each other, right? And then getting likes off of it. Yeah. So it's like we're still trying to figure out how to manage those emotions.
Well, I think when we don't give grace because we don't give it to ourselves. The world doesn't have much grace.
No.
Because we don't give it to ourselves. We can't say, you know what, I hurt somebody there. I'm going to repent. I'm going to allow myself to feel hey, I am so deeply sorry.
Mm-hmm. That humility.
And we don't feel love because we don't always love ourselves in those moments. We don't always, we reflect back what we're doing to ourselves.
Yeah, that is so true too. Oh my gosh,
That is true.
So true.
Very true.
And how that,
When you're unhappy, you make other people unhappy. It makes you feel better.
it's like, the Snickers commercial. When you're hungry, you're not you. When you're in pain, you're not you.
Yeah, you're not.
When you're in fight or flight, you're not you.
You're not. You're right.
And so the best we can do to start changing the world, I think, is we all got to look within. We also have to have the connectedness to say, we have to be able to receive grace from somebody.
Exactly.
My wife is so good at grace.
Aww.
She loves me for me. We go through, we're open books. We'll talk about any of this, but I think normal marriage struggles, right? This is a very small example. I had an experience when I was, 5 that I took to mean, I'm not good enough. And she's had some experiences when she was little to say, I'm not loved. And so when we go through that and then we enter and we become one flesh and we become, in this marriage, all of a sudden, me not putting a dish away and she says, hey, can you put that dish away? I'm thinking, I'm not good enough. And she's thinking, he doesn't love me. But when we can give grace and make that just an automatic default, now there's definitely things out there that are just beyond.
Yeah.
Right? That's, but when we start to give grace to others, could the world change?
Yeah.
Yes. 100%. And I think we've gotten away from giving people grace. Like we don't have to think alike or be alike. We can still love those different perspectives. We can offer that grace no matter what.
Well, and here, my tagline is always seek to understand and seek to be understood. And I think if you can get to that level of where you're trying to understand someone and they're trying to understand you, you can have a discussion at that point.
Yeah. We may not agree.
You may.
Okay.
I don't agree with half the people I talk to.
But that's what makes the world interesting, right?
Yeah.
We're not all the same. We're not all robots.
Thank
That's
God
what
I'm
makes
not
the
you.
world interesting. Yeah. Well, you would be living the life, I'm saying.
Cleaning my dog's ears out.
On the 33rd anniversary.
On the 33rd anniversary. I'm texting her last night, so I got to tell you. I'm texting her last night, and I was dead yesterday.
But you have to preface it. My husband's been out of town for a month.
Yeah, they're building a big grand house in Colorado. So, and they are tight as tight can be. This is the best little couple. But the funny thing is, Carla's been alone a lot, and she gets lonely. We get it, okay?
Absolutely.
And so I'm sitting there last night, long day. I'm building a house. It's hot. I played pickleball twice. It's a lot on a woman.
And you're not just playing pickleball. You're crushing it out there.
I'm crushing it. I'm really not. Listen.
She's super competitive.
No.
Yeah.
You got to go play at a club. You go play at a club, you're like, I'm level 0. Seriously. I thought I was good, and then I got humbled real quick. But anyway, I'm working on it.
Floor with me, so.
I'm working on it. So anyway, I'm dead. You know when you're just so tired, you don't have the energy to eat. You just want to go to bed.
Yep.
You just want to beat the crap out of a pillow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting in there, and she texts me, and her text, I don't even know what time it was.
I don't either.
She's like 2 martinis in. And she's texting me, she's like, I'm here alone. It's my 33rd anniversary, and what else were you doing?
Oh, I was doing podcast stuff.
Oh, she's catching up on podcast stuff, and then she finishes it with, and I'm cleaning my dog's infected ear out. And I'm like, wow. Bradley needs to come home. Right?
Quite the anniversary.
I know, wasn't it? Happy anniversary,
But,
dear. Love you.
You know, you tend to shut down when things are just exhausting.
Yeah.
And you don't want to function. And it's easier just to stop. But I think the cool thing about what you do is you're so encouraging with what you do. You're so like, there's the grace. Mm-hmm. There's a lot to say about grace, right? What would you tell people if someone is sitting at a desk and they're in pain? Mm-hmm. What would you tell them? They're feeling stressed and tense. What's one simple adjustment or practice they could start today?
Man.
Come see Dr. Dan.
Right.
Make an appointment. We take insurance.
Yeah. We do take insurance.
We're going to go into that in a minute. But
we absolutely do.
Yeah.
And there's so many things.
Which is a big deal because a lot of chiropractors don't, do they?
It's
getting better
the
now?
insurance world is in shift.
Okay.
I mean, it's just, and it's always kind of in flux. As reimbursement rates go down and premiums go up, less people have it, but also it's kind of a thing. Less people take it.
With what you do, though, could that not be considered a form of rehabilitation? You know, because a
Oh,
lot of these
yeah.
insurance companies will go, well, you need rehab for that. Could I come see you as
Absolutely.
a part of my rehab?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, so that is
That's
all. That would
interesting.
all be covered. Yeah, 100%.
And I think, thinking about your role in, you're in the skeletal nervous system part of it, but working hand in hand with a physical therapist, because they're going to be on the
yeah.
muscular side
Yeah,
of it.
there's some history there. There's a lot of overlap in our scopes of practice. I know several PTs. We talk, we collaborate.
Yeah,
I
love
refer
that.
to them. They refer to me. Like when we approach it with openness, I may not like or understand everything that you do, but I still know. I know that PT's hard, and I know the results I've seen them get.
Yeah,
And vice versa.
correct.
Then we can collaborate pretty easily.
Yes.
So I know that's a little side tangent because I do want to get back to what's, just little simple things. And I think it really comes down to, if we want to make a change in our life, we've got to change our physiology. Mm-hmm. We've got to change the way our brain fires and wires. We've got to change our physical structure, and we got to change the internal chemistry and not be so reliant on our environment to dictate us, but us dictate our environment.
Okay.
So what I really mean by that is, do you feel better if you have to park far away to walk into the store, and you go in and you walk in and you're all stressed, you're hot, you're scared, whatever? Your body will make the change because you walked for 5-10 minutes extra. Mm-hmm. We had the little rise of endorphins, or when we're stressed out and we want to run.
Yeah.
That run, it can be healthy.
Yeah, it can be, actually. You're right.
Brings us back down to a spot of coherence between our heart, our mind, and our body. So if we look at little things, and I hope this really comes across, we're thinking about things too big, too broad. We're trying to solve the world in a moment. Everything takes time. And I think we undervalue this idea of, did I win today? I'm the one who decides if I won or not.
Oh, I love that.
I'm the one who dictates that was a winning day. And maybe to win the day, it's I'm going to sit in silence for 5 minutes. That's it. And maybe the next week, right, we want to grow it and cultivate that habit and practice it. But the one thing, just take a breath. It's
Breathing is
that
great.
simple.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
It really is that
really
simple.
is,
And
isn't
setting
it?
those little goals like that, I think it really can build healthy habits.
Yeah. I think we're trying to do too much all at once. And we just take a breath. We recognize, hey, I may not be okay, or I'm hurting. I've got a physical pain. I sat at my desk 8 hours a day for 20 years. Mm-hmm. Well, if you do the same habit over and over again, we're going to do the same thing. I can predict your tomorrow.
Yeah.
Our 90+% of our thoughts are the same thoughts I had yesterday. But if I don't change those things, I'm going to think the same thing again tomorrow, and I'm going to feel lack of worth, like I'm not good enough. So I got to change those things, and sometimes we have to have the physical involved too, because they're connected. Our body is a reflection of our mind.
Yeah, so you physically get fixed. It could change your mental.
It absolutely does.
And then vice versa.
And there's tons of functional MRI studies to show that.
Exactly. I agree with that.
And where, hey, there's a new neural process starting to form here. That's lighting up more. And so it's pretty profound just how a little thing. I think we get frustrated when things are simple. It's that simple.
We want it to be
I would have
harder.
already done that.
Yeah.
Well, got to take the action. Sometimes the understanding comes after the action.
Yeah.
I love action.
Oh, I know you do. Yeah, I know you do.
That doesn't surprise me.
I love
Okay,
energy.
so if you had to describe chiropractic care in one sentence, but make it sound like a movie tagline, what would it be?
Movie tagline.
Ooh, this is a good one.
This is
I'm
making
on
me
fire.
uncomfortable because this
Give
is
me
not
fun.
my
me
realm.
It's all firing.
I know it's all my. Got to get coherent, right? Take a deep breath.
Yeah, take a deep breath. Movie tagline.
Movie tagline.
Oh, that's
Okay.
That's hard. And we'll cut out this little waiting period here.
Motion is lotion. That's my one of my things.
Motion is lotion.
That's right.
I'm like, that's not a movie.
I know. I don't. Can you give me an example?
No, I can't. This is not my question. It's yours.
One sentence.
Motion is lotion.
Okay, so what would?
So I'll describe
never gonna trust
chiropractic in
you.
one sentence, and then
We'll go from there.
maybe
Yeah.
go from there.
Oh, yeah.
Carla, come up the road.
Creative juices will flow.
Yeah.
Chiropractic in one sentence.
Chiropractic in one sentence. When we love the body will straighten itself out.
I love the body.
See, he already knew.
Yeah.
He's like Rico Suave. He's like speaking it just smoothly, Okay, so what would movie title be?
Love your body.
Love your body.
That sounds like it could
A
be a really
chiropractic
inappropriate.
story.
Yeah.
It could go a lot of different ways.
I'm like, that
but,
doesn't sound
you know,
very. Yeah. I just know. I know when I first played pickleball with him,
Yeah.
he came up and found out he was a chiropractor. My posture.
Oh,
went
she
from
started
him.
saying, "Hey, can you look at this? Can
No,
you do
I
this?"
said that once. I was just like, chest up.
Chest up.
Yep.
Shoulders back.
Roll
Hey,
the-
And I'm thinking in my head, he's got like 15 different things he's diagnosed with. She needs an adjustment here. She needs an adjustment here.
She needs adjustment here.
Yeah.
Hey, we're not just good at physical adjustments. We're good at attitude adjustments.
There's another tagline.
There it is. That's the one.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
But thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on
This
the
was
show.
so great.
It's
So
been-
informative.
Yeah.
What
Love
an
your
honor.
wisdom. Love
people
your
don't-
wisdom.
People don't realize that mental is not always bad.
Mm-mm.
It's not always great.
Sometimes it's
but
perky.
it's understanding it, and that people in all walks of life can contribute to someone's mental health
Amen.
and
Yes.
how they grow, how they move forward. And I think
Mental
it's
health is in
important.
all aspects of our life.
It is
really
in all
is.
of us, but
Absolutely.
just the simple fact that you were able to describe to everybody, hey, sometimes it's not just here, it's here, or it's here and it's causing it here. It helps people understand it more. So tell people how they can get a hold of Dr. Daniel.
Absolutely. You can get a hold of us on social media. Our office is online, Salt Lake Chiropractic in Prosper, Texas, right off of Preston Road. And then our phone number, 214-338-0026.
Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Dr.
you
Dan, for
so
being on
much.
our show.
It's
I'm
been
so
so great.
appreciative.
Thank
I'm very
you.
grateful.
If you or anyone you know is struggling with mental health issues, please reach out to talk to someone you trust. Get connected to a mental health professional who can help you find ways to cope and ultimately feel better. If you are having suicidal or self-harm thoughts or thoughts of hurting another person, please go to the nearest ER, call 911, or contact the National Suicide Hotline at 988. Thank you for tuning in to Mental Perk. We hope our talk today highlighted real people working through real issues based on mental health. Our goal at Mental Perk is to make sure every one of you knows you're worthy. We're in this together.